Alright, Papercut here, back with another replay review. This is of Shackletone, who on my coaching Discord asked for me to do this replay review of this game he had against Ayyubid. This is an hour-and-a-half game. We are not going to watch this entire game. That takes a very, very long time. Because mostly what I'm concerned about is, why did this game go an hour and a half? This game should not have gone an hour and a half. So we're going to be focusing mostly on the first 20 to 30 minutes. Because... and then I'll talk a little bit about what your goal should be in Imperial, since you did ask about what the issues are in Imperial. Shackleton is a low to mid gold player, he's been playing English recently, and he wants to see what he could have done better. So let's jump right into it. And if you yourself want a replay review or coaching or just a place to ask questions, check the Discord link in the description of the video below. Let's get into it. So you are actually one of the civs most well handled to stop the Ayyubid fast castle, because your longbows outrange towers, unless so like for them to defend their gold they need 2 towers, for them to defend their berries they need 2 towers. So you're able to cut off their berries and their gold, which basically stops them from fast casting, specifically their gold. And so I highly suggest you do the council hall all-in strategy and just cut off gold, because you do not want them to get the castle. Obviously you both get the imp, but that's why this game shouldn't go on, because English, this game should end in feudal. Whether they get to castle and you lose, or you stop them and kill them in feudal. Because almost every single Ayyubid player wants desperately to go feudal, and honestly, they don't want to fight you in feudal. Your longbows kill almost everything they have, because their special unit is Desert Raider, which your longbows just outrange and out damage. So look right here. You notice his berries are right here, and we really need to see where his gold is. So in this case, his gold is at the bottom, which is a really easy walk for you. And you're cutting off gold. Now the issue is he has gold on this other side as well. So once you cut off this gold, you want to also make sure you cut off this gold. Luckily, you could just literally walk under and cut off the gold, but you really want to focus on where's this gold, cut it off. He would need to put up a tower. Wow, this wood line is so nice for him. That's crazy. If you put the tower here, you'd have to walk all the way around, which just takes time. But even then, you could do a ram and just push in as he's trying to age up. But this is a game where you should be pushing. And what is this? What is this map? Some of these Lippany spawns, man, are insane. Small note on your age up, I really suggest you when you're scouting, try to get the full side, so you're not missing out on things that are hiding in the corner, like this berries, this deer, this relic. Because once the game really starts, you want to have your scout by their base, and you won't have time to go check other things around the map. So you really want to get a full scouting of the whole side, scout their entire base, and then get back, drop off sheep, and get back to their base. My suggestion is, next time you scout, dive middle first, break off, get this full quarter of the map, drop off sheep, get this other half. You should get here by the time they enter feudal, check their starting opening, check the rest of the side, come back, drop off sheep, and then follow your units toward the fight. Okay, so already tweaking, so usually people do this Abbey of Kings build to immediately attack and then go rush 2 TC and rush castle. So you're not going for a second TC, which begs the question why you're doing this build. Because the whole point of the whole point of Abbey of the King is to get the free king to then buy space and time for you to go 2 TC, because they can't stop you. But you have to consider your opponent. Your opponent is Ayyubid. They want to rush castle. And so you'd want to adjust to a council hall opening against Ayyubid. Most other civs doing the Abbey of Kings is fine. You use the king, you get 2 TCs down, and you rush. But you don't seem to be going for a second TC. In fact, I'm kind of confused what you're going for here. Now you're going second TC. So that was a late pull. You don't need 6 on food. You only need 2 on food. You need 4 on food. 4 allows you to continuously make villagers. You should have pulled those extra 2 off food, and they should have been on stone much earlier. So here's my fear of doing a 2 TC against Ayyubid. They rush castle. They get relics, so their TC, their eco's boosted. They also can do the growth wing, so they get 8 fills, so basically your villager lead immediately shrinks. Then they get Camel Lancers, and they just raid you a lot with Camel Lancers, unless you can wall up and defend. And even if you get up, they're just so far ahead of relics and the growth boost, and they could even go a second TC themselves in castle and basically stay even. So 2 TC against the Ayyubid fast castle just feels really, really bad. Your options are either, in my opinion, it's Ayyubids, rushing them, which 90% of the time is probably the right move, or rushing castle yourself. But it just doesn't feel good fighting them in castle unless you're like Japan, because they have the better knights. I think it's castle very quickly. Or I don't know how HRE does against it, but even then I'd think HRE would rather just fight in feudal. So it's adjusting. What is your opponent's trying to do? How do you want to counter that? And once again, see, if we're rushing feudal, I mean, if we're rushing a second TC, why are we not rushing the second TC? Why do we have 4 on stone? You start adding to food. Why? You don't need food. You need to get up. The longer it takes your second TC to get up, the less advantage you're getting from it. The reason people rush second TCs right when they hit feudal is because the sooner you get the TC up, the sooner you are getting the extra villagers. And that's really the key here. You've been wasting wood on doing these campfires. Like, I know you're saying the campfires for your knight, but it's like, you just wasted 25, 50, 75 wood. That's you having 400 wood for the TC. If these 3 villagers that are on food were on stone right now, you'd be much closer to second TC. You need to value that second TC. What you're doing is you're not optimizing your villager splits for your goal. If your goal is second TC, optimize your villager splits to get that TC up as fast as possible, is the main point I'm trying to make. Right now you're doing 2 things at the same time, which means you're doing both slowly. The second TC is good. Protects both golds. That's nice. You start walling up because you know a fast castle's coming. And the beauty of English, though, is that you can turtle very, very well. You now have this nice safe pocket here to set up farms. You can get the walls up. You'll be in a really good spot. Stop dropping these campfires everywhere. You're just wasting food. Can't lose that king. That king is your number one. Your king's over here. Okay. I would not be making units at this point. So you just made archers to push that away. It wasn't going to hurt you. It had no way. It had no way of hurting you. Also, be a little bit more aggressive this wall. You walled this to this to this. When in reality, you could have just walled right here. Or like up here. And you would have gotten deer pack, gold, stone, berries. I mean, hypothetically, you don't really need these resources. You're going to go farms, but it just buys you more time. And it saves wood. You had to spend so much more wood walling this off, but you could just walled here. And you know you could have, because this was his only desert raider. That was up here. Yeah, I would not be making units. You can make a few longbows, but you need to rush castle. At this point, you need to rush castle, because if you can get up a white tower like here, like a white tower here, then you basically can put all your farms around it, and you're good. And then you can catch up that way. But you need to rush castle. And we have to be smarter for farm placement here. Like this, you're missing out on farm ability here. So he hits castle. Why did we send those? Why do we go forward? You know what I mean? Like, here's the thing. If you go to TC, you know you are behind with units. He's going to have more units than you. Or he hits castle, he's going to start making them instantly. So you throwing away those longbows and knights doesn't really make sense. I would have, you really want to use the knight, have the knight go side to side. But he already walled up, it looks like. At least on the left side. So, I don't know. The second you get your second TC up, just go hard turtle. Which means you're walling up like this, you're getting farms up, and you're making longbows, and you're rushing castle. Because if you get the white tower up, he just can't attack for a while. It buys you time. Now he's going to get all these relics. So I'd almost suggest going third TC to make up for the villager loss. I'm not a huge fan of this white tower here. Because what's it protecting? You're going to be protecting these farms here, but most of your farms are going to go back here. I honestly would have rather you put it here. Your TC is technically already protecting these 2 gold mines. And you have a tower here. You put the white tower here, It protects this gold, this stone, and then you can put all your farms here, which is a lot of farm space. Like, this is so far forward that he could push into the back and raid everything, because eventually you're going to have to add more farms back there. You're adding them here, which is nice, but you can't add any more after that. Okay, so first let's talk comp. Why'd you make a Magano? What does Magano counter? Magano counters ranged mass. If you have a lot of them, they'll counter everything, but they mostly counter ranged mass. That's what they do extra damage against. +6 against ranged, but clumps of units. What have you seen him run? He is running Horseman and Camel Lancer. So he's running right now mostly what's the word I'm looking for? Cavalry units. You're also dropping this market. No. This is way too early to trade. One, you then have to wall here to here with stone to even consider it being worthwhile. Two, you have plenty of gold. If you could, I'd rather you invest the resources into walling this with stone and then you have all this gold protected. Trade this early means you're investing into traders as well, and that means you're going to fall behind on units. And the goal of Ayyubid's early is just to make units and attack right now. Like, he needs to attack right now. Now, he didn't do a good job. You're making units, but you need to mass, in my opinion, crossbows, knowing that he's probably going to go Camel Lancers and Ghulams. You need to mass crossbows and your own men-at-arms. So everything should be dedicated to getting more wood to drop more production and making those units. Just mass men-at-arms, crossbows, and longbows is all you need to do. But this Magano was a waste of resources against what he's currently running. You also want to try to grab these relics. He hasn't grabbed them all, so you want to try to grab them. Now he's pushing you. Sweet. But look, so consider our counter comp. You knew he had Ghulams and cavalry, and you only had longbows. I notice right now you're not making any military units, which is bad. We need to make sure, we need to put all of our production on a hotkey, and then we're always making military, rally it to like this area you want them protecting each other, which would be like here. And then you need to be rallying units. Yeah, you're getting 37 go off this trade. Like, not amazing. Upgrades, good. You need, so when you hit castle, you need way more on gold. You need 10, at least 10, but more villagers on gold, because then you need to make gold units. Each crossbow costs 40 gold. Each men-at-arms costs 20 gold. You need the upgrades. So, and you need to be making gold units. Right now, you're just not making units, and you're not checking your resource. You have this resource imbalance that you need to modify. Your goal as English at this point is just to mass units and push out once you have that really nice unit comp of men-at-arms, longbows, and crossbows. And no, you're on 2TC and he isn't. So eventually you will take over just pure unit-wise. Do you have a blacksmith? Okay, good. You need to get arrow attack. But your lack of just any frontline units is hurting you. So you really need to see, I have wood, I need to drop barracks. Like, a high-level English player is just dropping lots of production right now. So that wasn't an amazing attack by him, but this is a great chance for you to grab relics. This one's still here. This one's back over here. This is also a chance, once you stop an attack like this, to re-wall up and rally units. You still have... Where's your military? You need more to be continuously making units. You have all this floating resources. Your goal is to keep making units, and you have two options. You either push in castle, or you just defend till you hit imp, and then you do your comp of pure men-at-arms, fully upgraded. They're tanky as hell. Men-at-arms and crossbows. Men-at-arms, crossbows, get siege, and walk it down. That's literally all it is. But look. You also stop making villagers. So that attack caused you to just stop making villagers. You still have 6 in there. We need to orient our mind. There's so many things that we have to do in these games. So the best thing I can suggest to you is you need to value some things more than others. I am always making villagers. I am always making units. Those two things are by far the most important thing. Then I am adjusting my resources based on what I need, which you did. You put more on gold. Then I'm scouting. Did he send more units here? What's he doing at home? Try to scout. And then I'm pushing, or I'm trying to get to Imperial for my Imperial bonuses. You drop more production, which is great. But we need to be making units. We need to be... Like, right now you're making knights. All out of one. This is such a time inefficiency and a resource inefficiency. You should be making men-at-arms and crossbows. The thing you dropped for. Why are you making this all out of the White Tower? Where'd he go? And now he's dropping a second TC. So here's the key. Now you're getting the relics. Great. If you get those 2 relics, it's awesome. Here's the key. A lot of people are like, I don't really know what to do in castle. What you do in castle is you secure a map and then you push. So this is your chance to stonewall here, stonewall here, stonewall here. Like, get up walls so you don't have to worry about raids. And then you focus the fight down one lane and you go. If you're the more powerful civ. If you're the civ behind, then you're trying to raid along the sides to buy yourself time. But I feel like a lack of direction here. Are you wanting to attack? Then try to attack down a lane where you know he needs to be. He needs resources right now. So I would attack this side because on the mini-map that you've scouted, you would have seen berries and gold and everything on this side. I would have pushed this side. Because you know he needs food. He probably hasn't put up farms yet. Not enough, at least. So I would push this side. And lo and behold, you would have run TC and all his villagers over here. But really at this point, whoever just makes the most units wins. Whoever can consistently make units, which you've just started doing, but we need to continue doing. And I would do, once again, men-at-arms. Men-at-arms are so much tankier, provide that good front line for your range units, and they're pretty cheap, all things considered. Now you're walling. I would do stone wall. You have the stone fort, start doing stone walls. And then using keeps a secure space. But this comp of spear knights is just confusing. Why are we not making any ranged units? Now we're making 2 layers of walls. Now you're about to hit imp. Okay, here's the... I'm not a fan of this Berkshire placement. You already have the White Tower here. It's already here. Use the Berkshire to secure a different area and different resources. It shuts down an area itself. The Berkshire here is amazing. Gold, Sacred Site, and your trade is protected. Berkshire on this side's good too. You protect gold, stone, everything back here. Like, you could just set up farms back here because everything's protected. And you have this whole side shut down. Placing it here protects nothing. You already have White Tower protected. All of this stuff is here. You're double protecting an area you don't need to do, which just leaves your flanks open for attack. Spread out your defensive structures. 2, why are we trebucheting a wood wall? You're actually taking longer. If you should be attacking with everything right here, and then running around. So the beautiful part of cavalry, especially when he goes non-cav units, is you can be everywhere. Like, you can take chunks and just run them around and attack villagers. Even if you don't raid effectively, you make them move. So, like, you know... Well, how do I know where villagers are? You know villagers are because he has to be on resources. So just run them through resource pockets and see if you can grab anything. So I would have done all your horsemen to one side, all your knights to another side. Attack and run through and start killing villagers. You're taking so long. You're taking so long to react here. Like, our spearmen don't need to be with the group. Just split them. And then he just catches you, right? Because you weren't moving. But look, he made units. Now this game becomes who just makes units. You're also comp busting. Like, you're doing the issue where you make everything, and a comp that is everything will lose to a well-focused comp. For English, it is men-at-arms fully upgraded, crossbows fully upgraded. If you can afford the gold, do hand cannons, but generally you want crossbows. In Imperial, your attack strategy is pretty simple. You drop tower, you get 2 3 trebuchets, you get spring ults, and then you just walk it down. Tower, walk it down. If you get enough stone, drop a keep, and use tower for the attack speed. You walk it down. Boom, 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 and you just slowly run over everything. Use stone walls to protect, and then if you can bust through, use groups of men at arms to just do raids. Because small groups of men at arms are really hard to kill. Just run them around and attack his food, attack everything, and he has to chase those men at arms, and it will just bleed him dry. But overall, the things I'm noticing: one, not a focused strategy. You went 2 TC, but it was very slow. You kind of attacked, but you didn't make enough units. 2, managing your eco. Always be making villagers. Always be adjusting your resources based on your goal. 3, against fast castle civs, it's very powerful to go all in council hall because your longbows are so good at shutting down gold. And lastly, add production, make units, unless you want to like rush imp or something. I hope that was helpful. Good luck on your games.